All right. Am I live? I think we're live. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Wise Take DFS podcast for February 24th, 2018. I'm your host, Patio Joe. You can follow me at Twitter at Patio Joe Ref. And I'm joined here tonight here on the West Coast. It's by my man, my SoCal brethren, Johnny the Greek. You can follow him at Twitter at GDaddy80. What's going on, Johnny?
Not much, man. Just finishing up the slate tonight. Got some stuff still going. Hopefully we finish out well. Been on a little bit of heater the last couple of days, so it's been good. Made a bunch of Nation guys some money yesterday. So Nation guys, you've been playing my picks. Everyone in the Wise Take Nation, you've been doing well the last couple of days. So it's been good. It's been good. We've had some good screenshots from some Nation members that have been doing really well. So proud of them. Good to see that. And we're going to dive into a weird slate for tomorrow. There's a lot of good plays. It's only a 7-game slate on DraftKings and a 6-game slate on FanDuel. They kicked off that Laker game for tomorrow. But there's a lot of plays with such a small slate. There's a lot of good plays I'm looking at right now. So there's a lot of stuff to dive in, and there's a lot of different plays to go tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a wonderful GPP slate for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, before we get started, like today was a big day in sports anyways, just in general. I mean, you got one more game going on here in the NBA. You got the Lakers, they're up by 20 going into the fourth. And last night, like you said, we had some Wise Take Nation members hit the nuts. Congrats to you guys out there. It really makes me happy when the Nation members winning, especially you guys hanging off. And then we have the on the NBA front, we got Jimmy Butler, X-rays negative on his knee, but we'll see how bad it is. And tomorrow night, he's playing at Chicago, so the revenge narrative might be gone if he's not playing. And then we have the spring training games started today. Did you listen to any spring training games today?
No, I was doing so much research. I kind of stayed away from it. I typically wait for like the first week to go away of spring training because it's just too much stuff. Because I'm already starting my baseball research right now, and I don't want it to like cloud the information up for me. So doing research now for basketball and MLB and hockey for me, it's a lot. So like I'm not really following any baseball, just the basketball stuff right now.
Yeah, real quick. Last couple nights ago, me and Paulie did an MLB kind of preview show. Yeah. And we kind of talked about like what you're kind of looking for here on spring training. And I was kind of like, you don't really pay attention to the last week, maybe what guys are doing offensively and pitching wise. What I really want to know is more of the platoon situations that each team has. So I know the value guys that might be coming through. Speak real quick. What are you doing right now to get ready for baseball? I mean, there's not really much to do in my mind.
I'm just going through all the wonderful articles that Cam has been writing for us here at Wise Take, and I've been going through some other research. But, for me, like I'm really going to wait for another couple of weeks to really dive in because there's still so many free agents that haven't been signed that are great options out there. So I'm going to wait a little while. I just hate to do double the early research and just basically get nothing out of it. So I'm really just looking at the core team plays right now. And, that's what I'm really focusing on. And then, probably about 2 weeks or so, hopefully most of these free agents that are the good free agents are signed and ready to go. And then we can kind of, see where they're going to fit in the team and, see how each division looks. And that's how I'm going to start to tackle that. I just really want to wait and see a little bit because spring training is so long, for me.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. But the season does start. It will start earliest that it's ever started. We're gonna have a full 15-game slate on March 29th. It's gonna be pretty cool. The last thing to go down today that we'll talk about, and then we'll get into the slate. The bombshell today that Yahoo dropped about the NCAA, pretty much letting everybody what everybody else knew, that college basketball players were getting paid. But the wiretaps that just came out about Sean Miller being caught on tape saying how he paid $100,000 for a recruit.
So somebody paid $100,000, yeah. And I mean, come on, Dennis Smith Jr. he admitted he took $70,000 last year. So yeah, it's happening. I mean, if you ever remember the movie Blue Chip, which Shaq was in, yeah, that it happens. I mean, it's what it is. Like, and you know what though, you can't blame these college guys though. To be honest with you, because they're giving up so much, and if they get injured, if they blow their knee out, their career might be over, and they get nothing out of it. And then they don't even get a full scholarship. They cut them the next year. So it's just it is what it is. These colleges make so much money off these kids. Why can't the kids make money off of them,
Yeah, I mean, as a SC fan, I say throw the book at all of them because they screwed SC over big time for Reggie Bush's parents getting their rent paid. Nothing the school had anything to do with it, and they screwed SC over for 10 years. So I don't have much sympathy towards anything that's happened to any of these schools just because SC I think they were almost kind of made an example of more than anything. So, but the NCAA, yeah, it happens in all sports. I think that it doesn't, especially the big ones, basketball and football. You're a little naive,
especially these big universities that make more money than a lot of the small market professional teams do.
Exactly.
It's like, come on, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm a Penn State fan, John. Yeah, that Rose Bowl game was good a couple years ago, huh, John? Anyways, let's get into this slate. We have a nice, like I said, 7-game slate on DraftKings, 6-game slate on FanDuel. So when Johnny talks about the positions, he's going to include the Laker game that's late. That's the 7:30 game. So if you guys are playing on DK, he's got you covered. So that being said, Johnny, the floor is yours. Talk to me about point guards.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, guys, just give you real quick, is I'm going to go through DraftKings lineup builder, basically, go through their salary. And then as I go through plays, I'll tell you, what the price is on FanDuel as well, if you want to follow along with me. And I'll tell you what I like, if I like it better on FanDuel or DraftKings or how that works. So that's what I'm going to do tonight, just to make it easier a little bit. Last week was a little chaotic, but this week we'll make it a little easier to follow through. So anyways, here we go. So at the top today here, on DraftKings, we have Russell Westbrook. He's 11,600. He's a little expensive, but I think he's still in play. He's definitely a much better play on FanDuel, where he's a little bit of a discounted price. FanDuel's salary, it seems very, very, very low tomorrow. They seem very weak. And so I think that you're going to have a lot more money to spend tomorrow because of the salaries are just they're just way underpriced tomorrow. So he's 11-2 tomorrow on FanDuel. So I definitely think he's in play on both sides, but I really like him on FanDuel if you're going to pay up over DraftKings. And then on DraftKings next play, the guy I probably would go to in the same matchup is going to be Stephen Curry. He looked great this last game. He's 9,900 on DraftKings, and he's actually even priced better on FanDuel. 9,500 looks like almost a lock and load for me over there on FanDuel tomorrow. Super cheap. I like this up-paced game tomorrow. I think they're going to go back and forth. There's no love lost between Westbrook, Curry, and Durant. So this is a game you're definitely going to want to target for sure. It's going to be one of the probably higher-owned games, but since everybody here is really priced up, you're not going to be able to really stack a lot of it unless there's some kind of injury news that we get coming out of it. The next game, the next guy I'm looking at here, Dame Lillard. He's definitely in a great opportunity here, playing against Phoenix in Phoenix. The Coors Field, as my boy BK would say, of basketball, but he's $9,800 tomorrow. I would way prefer to go to the top two guys over him. But if you want to look at him on FanDuel, he's a little bit cheaper. He's $9,700. I think he's just priced up. It seems like both sites have picked up on the Phoenix and just priced everybody up. So I don't think he's in play for me tomorrow at his price tags. And then on DraftKings, the next guy we got is Kyrie Irving. He's 8,500 on DraftKings. I love the matchup against New York. I just don't know if New York's going to be able to keep it close. They're trying to go with their youth movement. Their backcourt has been really muddled up. I don't think I can play anybody over there in their backcourt. But Kyrie Irving on DraftKings, not in play at 85, but he's really cheap on FanDuel. He's only 7,900. So for me, I'm probably going to lock him in tomorrow at 7,900. Probably going to get a lot of exposure in my lineups. I like him there. And then I'll go over like Donovan Mitchell and CJ McCollum in the shooting guard section. That way everything's kind of lined up with FanDuel too. I don't want to confuse people. So the next guy I'm going to go down to is going to be Alfred Payton. He got a discount. He's in a great matchup against Dame Lillard. He was 8,000 tonight. He's only 7,100 tomorrow. I think he's a great play on DraftKings, and he's still in play over there at FanDuel at 7,500. He had an okay game tonight. Definitely wasn't one of his ceiling games like he's had in the last couple of games, but I definitely think that he can perform well in this matchup. So I like that. And then the next guy I'm looking at here at about 6,700 is going to be Chris Dunn against Minnesota. Jimmy Butler's not going to play tomorrow. There's no way he plays. He had to be helped off. He's not going to play. If he didn't play in the All-Star game because he was afraid that he was going to be too tired to play James Harden, that's what he said today. There's no way he's playing on that knee injury. I know it's revenge, and I know he wants to play, but he's not going to play. This opens up a lot for Chris Dunn. Jeff Teague is not a great defender, so I definitely think he's in play. And he's really cheap on FanDuel at 6,200. So I think they priced him down on FanDuel thinking of the matchup. He's going to get some Jimmy Butler, but that's not going to be the case tomorrow. So I definitely lock him in. And then, Lonzo Ball, he's playing right now. He came off the bench today. He's on the minute restriction. I can't touch him on either site. So I just definitely avoid him. And then Dennis Smith Jr., he's just too cheap. He's in a good matchup against Utah. Utah doesn't play, doesn't guard shooting guards or point guards really well. Ricky Rubio is not a scary defender, so definitely think you can play him. He's 6,400 on DraftKings, and he's 6,400 on FanDuel as well. So I think that you can definitely take a look there. But really, if you're looking in that same price range, just go ahead and throw in Goran Dragic here on DraftKings. I think on FanDuel you can fade him. 6,700, but on DraftKings for me he's almost a must play. It looks like Evans is not going to play tomorrow. He left the game today with a rib injury, so I don't really think that there's anybody that's going to be able to stick with him tomorrow. I'm not afraid of Harrison defense or Harrison at all. Harrison had a bad game today, so I think Dragic definitely today. Tomorrow for your lineups for today, I should say 6,300. Great play on DraftKings. I definitely would go there. And in this price range, you definitely got to consider guys like Ricky Rubio at 6,100. He's pretty cheap on DraftKings. On FanDuel, he's just way too expensive. He's 7,400. I would definitely avoid him there. And Isaiah Thomas is an okay play. He's going to come off the bench against Sacramento. Sacramento's not a great defensive team. We know that. They're kind of looking to blow their season away. 5,800 is a great price for him. So I like that. And if we get news on De'Aaron Fox tomorrow, he's cheap. He's definitely in play if he's going to play. He's 5,800. I like that. And the last guy that I'm looking at here is going to be Tyler Johnson, 4,500 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel. I'm not going to consider like fringe guys like Harrison or any of those kind of guys if Evan's out. Maybe I would go to Mario Chalmers over him, but really I'm not looking to take any of those guys. And if you ask me about the New York Knicks situation, I'm off of Moutier, I'm off of Burke, I'm off all those guys tomorrow. I don't know what they're going to do with it. They've started Moutier, and then Trey Burks gets all the run and puts up 40 spot. So until that's kind of cleared out and kind of ironed out for me. With the minutes, with Jack not being involved anymore, with its Frank N and Burks and Moutier, I really don't want to touch it. There's just too many guys there. So if that answers anybody's question there.
All right. If you're doing one lineup on FanDuel, are you just putting in Westbrook and Curry and then going to war somewhere else? Or are you going with Curry and somebody else or Westbrook? Because you say you want that game. Right now, with that?
Right now, on our first look, if I could fit those two in with my lineup with the value that's out there, because there's some value, I definitely like those. But again, there's some mispriced plays down here that I think are just as good of plays. I
had to pick one of them, Westbrook or Curry.
I go with Curry right now just because of the price discount. I'm saving $1,700 with him. I really like I really like Dunn tomorrow at 62 against Teague too, with no Jimmy Butler. I really like that. So definitely there's enough value here to get both of them in if you want, but you have to make some concessions. And what we'll do is I'll go through everything, and then I'll go and give you my top three in each position.
Okay.
And then maybe that kind of clear things up for people.
Got it. All right. Perfect. Shooting guards. So you said you're going to go over McCollum and all that because they have the dual position eligibility and stuff like that. So why don't you?
Yeah. Because if I just went on DraftKings, I want to make it as clear and concise for people. I don't want to confuse people today. So with me just going down everything. So, looking at shooting guard here, the first guy you want to look at is going to be Mitchell for me. Butler's not in play. He's not going to play tomorrow. So Mitchell. For me on DraftKings, he's 8,000. He's a lot. I think he's a great play, but I think there's some better value at shooting guard, and there's some better plays that I would prefer to play up for. But on FanDuel, he's cheap. He's really cheap. He's 7,700 tomorrow. You have the salary to get him in. I would surely tell you to get him in. And then you got CJ McCollum tomorrow over there in Phoenix. He's priced up on DraftKings at 7,700. I don't really like him on DraftKings. I think he's too expensive for what he does. But I think on FanDuel at 7,400, he's viable, very viable. I would definitely take a look at him. And then in that same matchup, we talked about Dunn tomorrow. I like Zach LaVine tomorrow. This is a revenge game. Zach LaVine, this guy's real good. I like him a lot. A little expensive on DraftKings. He's 7,500. He's only 72 on FanDuel. So I definitely like that. If you're going to get some exposure to this Minnesota game, which I think you should, I think there's a lot of goodness in this one. And that Phoenix game I'm really liking right now. I definitely would take advantage of that. And then going a little bit lower here, I don't know what happened, but DraftKings gave Devin Booker a discount. They gave him a $600 discount with going against Dame Lillard defense and CJ McCollum defense. I don't understand why. It's at home. Last time Dame Lillard and Booker went toe-to-toe, they were just going back and forth, just lighting everything up. Booker, 7,400 on DraftKings. You almost got to lock him in tomorrow, I think, on DraftKings. He's so cheap. FanDuel, he's 7,700. He's a little bit more expensive, but that's still a great play over there. And then, we got to really consider guys like THJ here. That's Tim Hardaway Jr., He's only 6,400. He's 65 on FanDuel, and he's found a shot. And we talked about this right before the break. Once he finds his shot, you better jump on him because his price is going to go back up. He's starting to go back up there, but there's still definitely some room and value in his price where he can still outperform his cap. So I like that. I understand he's playing against Boston tomorrow. I still like this. New York's going to have to score somehow. So I really like him tomorrow. And then don't sleep on guys like Andrew Wiggins tomorrow. He's priced as the third option. He's going to have to be moved up to second option for me tomorrow on this team with Butler being out. He's only 6,200 on both sites. On DraftKings, you can play him at small forward or shooting guard. So I really like that tomorrow. And if Fox over there at Sacramento is out, it's definitely going to open up opportunity for Gary Temple tomorrow at 4,100. So and he's shooting guard eligible on DraftKings. You cannot play him on FanDuel tomorrow. That's the game with the Lakers in Sacramento. That game is not on the FanDuel slate, but it's on the DraftKings slate. So I really like him shooting guard, small forward eligible, 4,100.
Nice. You think tomorrow, just because there's no shooting guard that's priced over 8K on FanDuel, you think the chalk's going to be Donovan Mitchell just because of his price? I mean, he's the top guy. I mean, is Tyreek Evans going to play? Because you got out this game. You got taken out this game.
I don't think he's going to play, and I don't like the way they've been playing him anyways. Once they say they're going to play him again, they started giving him 5-minute spurts where he played 5 minutes, he'd sit 5 minutes, he'd play 5 minutes. I just didn't like what they were doing with him. Now he's got this rib injury. They obviously don't want him to be there. They want to run the young guys. The young guys aren't very good there. I don't like the matchup tomorrow with Miami. It's going to be very slow game. And so for me, the way I look at it is I don't think Evans is going to play, just like I don't think Butler's playing. So if I was going to play anybody there, we'll get there. It would be like Gasol or something like that. I don't, or maybe Chalmers. I'm not on Harrison. Harrison's not very good at basketball, and I think Dragic a pretty good defender. So that's where I stand with that.
For sure. All right. Let's move to small forwards. I mean, a couple weeks ago I was doing the show when Butler had his, in and out, and when he was out, everybody's saying you got to go for this guy. It's Bielka. I always say it wrong.
Bielitsa. We'll get there. He's on my list. Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
Small forward, 3,500.
Yeah,
Butler doesn't play. Is he just like a lock and load and cash tomorrow on FanDuel? Would that be?
I would play him in anything. He's the bull. Still playing the Bulls. So I think he's viable on DraftKings. He's $3,000.
Yeah, and so he's mid-price on FanDuel. So
yeah. So he's viable on both sites for sure.
All right, nice. All right, well, keep going on small forward. I just saw that. I wanted to point it out. So, anyways, helps with the transitions. So yeah, small forward. Stop it at the top. You got Kevin Durant. I think if you're going to go Curry, you might not want to go there. And then you got Paul George and up at the top, and then you just keep going down. It seems like there's such a break. There's like a $2,000 break in between. So
there really is. I mean, yeah, there really is. Like, so, on DraftKings anyways, just so you know, Jimmy Butler's is priced at $10,200 tomorrow. So even if he was playing, like, I can't pay that for the guy.
No way.
So he's out of play. On DraftKings, you have Durant here at 97. He's definitely in play tomorrow. He's 10-3 on FanDuel. I can't play the guy tomorrow. I'd prefer to go to Curry in this matchup. I just want to watch him and Curry and Westbrook go back and forth. So I'm not on him tomorrow. I think that on FanDuel, I like Paul George, but I don't like him on DraftKings. He's a little expensive at 93. I don't think he's in play there. And this is another reason why I'm off Durant. I think Paul George is going to guard Durant tomorrow, which I don't like Paul. I don't like anybody with having to get guarded by Paul George. Paul George is a pretty good defender, but Paul George is only 8,800 on FanDuel. I definitely think he's in play there, so you can definitely look at that. And then it really drops off here. You're looking at on DraftKings, you can play Brandon Ingram at 62 against Sacramento. You can't play him on FanDuel, but I definitely like that. And then Wiggins, I talked to you guys about him at shooting guard. He's small forward eligible as well on DraftKings, so you can go there. Barnes, to me, like, you can play Barnes. It's an okay matchup, but he's not going to win you GPP. He's going to be a guy where you can lock him in for cash games. So he's viable on both sides. He's similar price. I just really don't like him there. If I was going to go anywhere in that price range, I'd go to the upside of like a TJ Warren, who's only 5,700 on DraftKings, and he is he's 6,000 on FanDuel. So I think he's priced well on both sides. He had a great game today. He looked good. I really like that. I would prefer to go to him over guys like Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson's not starting. He's $100 cheaper. He's 5,600 on DraftKings, and he's 5,900 on FanDuel. So he's $100 cheaper with Jackson. I prefer to go to Warren, who's getting more minutes. And I think this game's going to stay close. So I really like those guys. And then, in this Boston game, I'm looking at guys like Jason Tatum. I think is in a good position against New York. He's way too cheap. I know he has not been playing well lately. His shot has been falling. He's only 5,200 on both sides, on DraftKings and FanDuel. And he's playing against New York. New York's not a great defensive team. If Tatum's shot starts to fall, and he's getting his normal peripherals, I think he's definitely a good value tomorrow on a slate where we don't see a lot of value that's up in front of us right now. So I definitely like that. And then in this on just a DraftKings only play, it's going to be Buddy Hield because this game is not on the FanDuel slate. He's 5,200 against the Lakers. He's looked really good. He looked really good in the Rising Star game, and then he looked good in his last matchup against OKC. So I really like him at that price. And it's really hard to play, a lot of these other guys. I would get down to maybe like David Nwaba. He's a little expensive now. We got him at 3,500, and he had that big 40-point game. He's playing against Minnesota, not a great defensive team. He's starting now. He's 4,600. I think he's still in play. On FanDuel, I don't really like him. He's at 5,000. I think there's better options. I think there's a little bit more opportunity for him still with that price, but I do have some concerns. I don't think he's going to go for 40 or anything like that. He might get you into like the mid 20s, maybe low 30s at the most if he has a great game. So he's kind of a fringe play for me, but if you're looking for value at that position and you don't like to go with the guy I'm going to go with in a minute here, definitely take a look at him. And then I definitely think that Harkless tomorrow is too cheap. He had a good game today. I think he's $3,700, way too cheap against Phoenix tomorrow. He's 3,500 on FanDuel, so he's even a better play there. I think you definitely can play him if you're looking to save some money. And the last guy on my list here, small forward. He's also power forward eligible on DraftKings. He's 3,400 on DraftKings. He's 3,500 on FanDuel. It's Bjelica. I think you just play him tomorrow. Butler's confirmed out. He's going to start. You know, he can definitely 10x his salary, you know, pretty comfortably. So I definitely think he's a great option tomorrow once we get that Butler news. But I'm pretty sure Butler's going to be out. The only concern I have if they want to go young now, if Butler's going to miss this amount of time, they might go to like Georges Hunt or something crazy like that, or they might even go to like maybe Jamal Crawford, get a little bit more run. So and then also that opens up room for Jamal Crawford too as another value play. So I look at those guys. I really wouldn't play any of the fringe guys there. You know, we might even see guys like Tyus Jones get a little bit more run at point guard as a value. So I would just wait till the news comes out. If Bjelica's announced as the starter, just lock him in. Like, just don't even think about it. He's too cheap. 3,400 and 3,500. Just play him.
Yeah. I don't know if you were watching before the game started today for Minnesota. They did like this report. This reporter said about Jimmy Butler sitting out the All-Star game. And he said, anybody that didn't think I was supposed to be an All-Star can challenge me to 100,000 and we'll play one-on-one with Lou Williams. And, you know, believe it or not, like, if he really was going to do that, like, that's kind of messed up. Like, Lou Williams, like, would have played and he wanted to be there. And then Jimmy Butler does Jimmy Butler. I mean, that guy has got a reputation now. I mean, it's crazy, you know?
Well, the thing is that even if Jimmy Butler, they're not in the same conference. Like, even if Jimmy Butler didn't play, like, Lou Williams got the spot. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing people forget. But people blow things out. Jimmy Butler said, listen, I didn't play in the game because I was going to have to go guard James Harden in this game. I was going to be way too tired. Like, like this guy's way too good. He's like, listen. And he's like, listen, I gave him $100,000, you know, like he's like, you know, LeBron's team won. They got $100,000 for winning it, you know. And then he's like, I got a text message from Lou Will saying, oh, what's up, bro? Like, blah, 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 whatever. He's like, well, dude, if you want to give me $100,000 to play me, like, we could go for it, you know, kind of thing. And I get it. You know, I heard so many different things, like Jimmy Butler was partying and drunk the night before, like so many different things. And I get it. I get it. Lou Williams probably never going to be in that spot he was in this year with the Clippers again, where he's going to be able to get into the All-Star game. I get the whole issue, but you know what? The end result of it is he's on the West Coast. Like, if he was in the East Coast, he would have had a spot.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
You got a stronger player pool, you know?
You're right. I hear you on that. All right. Power forwards. We live in a world where Bobby Portis is the second highest power forward on FanDuel tomorrow, where this guy was like min price, like maybe 2 months ago, maybe. I remember doing a show and you're like, Bobby Portis, great value. Now he's the second highest power forward on the slate.
Yeah.
And might be the top if Draymond Green doesn't play. He says he's a game time decision.
He's playing. He's shoulder sore. Yeah, he's going to play tomorrow.
All right, so keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, so tomorrow, like the top of the line here, you know, DraftKings all weird with positions. So I'm just going to go with Draymond Green here at the top. I already talked about Durant and George. Green, too cheap. $700 tomorrow on DraftKings. On FanDuel, he's more expensive. He is 83. He's definitely still in play on FanDuel. That's not too expensive for his upside. I like that a lot. On DraftKings, this is a DraftKings only play. Julius Randle, 7,400, power forward. you can't play him because he's on that Lakers Sacramento game. He's been playing phenomenal. I think he still has room in that price. I still think he's a good value playing against Sacramento, who's bad against bigs. So I definitely like that a lot. And then the next guy I would go to here, I really like this play. I like it's a DraftKings only play. Zach Randolph, 6,300. I really like that. You can't play him on FanDuel. He put up a 50 spot against OKC last game. I like him against the Lakers if he plays. They're always talking about resting their old guys there. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but if he plays, I like him. And getting to Bobby Portis, I talked about this at the Y stream last game when everybody was on Felicio, and I said, hey, Bobby Portis at 5,500, because that's what he was at. It is a great pivot off of him. And that's when one of our listeners played Bobby Portis, and that's part of why he won a lot of money. So Bobby Portis tomorrow, I still think he's in play in this game. I'm not worried about Taj Gibson or any of those guys. Remember that Bobby Portis and Taj Gibson used to be Bulls together. They both played there. Bobby Portis was always stuck behind Taj Gibson. So I think there's a little animosity towards Gibson. I can definitely see Bobby Portis wanting to play really well in this game. He's not starting. He's going to come off the bench, which actually opens up more for him in this matchup. He's going to see a lot of gorgeous dong tomorrow, so I definitely like it. I think he's a much better play on DraftKings at only 6,100. On FanDuel at 6,900, he's a little expensive. There's not a lot of meat on the bone there. I think he's a better play on DraftKings. I think for me that I'm probably going to fade him on a first look rate. I'm probably going to fade him. I just don't think that he's going to fit in the build I'm going to go with on DraftKings and FanDuel. So probably going to fade him, but I still think he's in play. If you have $6,900 left at power forward and he's your last guy in, I wouldn't definitely fault you for it. But I think that you can find some value here at power forward, so you can get in some of the other guys that have a safer floor and a higher ceiling as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I definitely like Kuzma here on DraftKings. You can't play him on FanDuel. Sorry about that, but he's 6,000. Clippers, I like it. Sacramento, I like it a lot. And I like Crowder tomorrow at 4,700. I really like him on DraftKings. I think he's a great play. Not so much on FanDuel, but I like him on DraftKings a lot. And then James Johnson on DraftKings, this is too cheap. He's only 4,600 tomorrow. I really like him tomorrow in this matchup. He's you got Kelly Olynyk who's out. Playing against Memphis is really, really hurt. The only real threat I have there is with Gasol, but you're going to get Whiteside's going to guard him a lot. I don't think any of these guys on Memphis can stick with James Johnson. I really like him tomorrow. I think he's a phenomenal play. He's too cheap. On FanDuel, he's 5,100. He's a little bit more expensive, but I still think he's a good play. And then if you're looking for some value, you can play Theus. He's cheap. He's 3,500 on DraftKings, 3,700 on FanDuel. He had a breakout game today, a great game today. This guy's super talented. He's basically playing for his job right now with Monroe there. He's afraid to lose his minutes and his spot. So definitely looked really good today. I definitely could see him keep it going just to secure his spot because Monroe's coming for somebody's spot. It's either going to be Baines' spot in the starting lineup or Thesis' spot first off the bench for the big. So one of those guys is going to lose their role here pretty soon to Monroe. And I think it's going to be Baines. I think Theus is too talented. And then the last guy here, and this is just a speculation play. This has to do with the Knicks going very, very, very youth oriented. This is why I'm not going to have any Enes Kanter tomorrow. Enes Kanter was in a phenomenal spot last game. He only got in the mid-20s in minutes because they gave all his minutes to a rookie that they really like, Luke Cornett. He's $3,000 on DraftKings, and he's min price 3,500 on FanDuel. He's a flyer play. If we hear that he's going to start or get extra run of minutes, he's definitely in play. He has put up over 30 DraftKings points in a 20-minute blowout game against Indianapolis this year. So definitely I think he's in play. I would take a look there. And that's it at the power forward spots for me, Joe.
You don't like the gorgeous dong tomorrow?
I'm not on the gorgeous dong tomorrow. No, I mean, like I want if I'm gonna take any value, I got Bielitsa and I can move him.
Okay.
Yeah, and on DraftKings you can move into power forward or small forward. So I really would prefer to go there.
It seems to me like if you nail power forward tomorrow, you could win because it seems like a whole just piece of just mosh together, like everything just mushed together. And
on FanDuel, I agree with you. I think on DraftKings, because you have the multi-eligible player positions, you can move people around. On FanDuel, like
and it seems like you like a lot of guys like from the last game that we don't even have on FanDuel. So.
Yeah, on FanDuel, like really because you can't move your center around. Mm-hmm. So like the spots that are important, really important tomorrow that I'm seeing is you got to know your power forward spot and you got to know your center spot. Mm-hmm. If you nail those two spots tomorrow, you're fine. On DraftKings, you have flexibility because you have some guys that are center eligible, also power forward eligible. Plus, you have your utility, so you can play two centers, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow. I'm probably going to play a lot of bigs in my build. So I like that. But yeah, on FanDuel, you got to hit basically your forward spots and your center. Guards, there's so many good options.
Yeah. All right, let's move down to the center spot. Keep going on.
Yeah. So Butler, that means you got to play Cat tomorrow. Bulls not good against the bigs. Feliciano is horrible. You just saw what Embiid did to him. Play Cat tomorrow. He's cheap. He's 9,700 on FanDuel. He's 9,600 on DraftKings. I think you just lock him in. That's why you can't play these cheap guys at center over there on FanDuel because I think Cat's the guy you want to lock in. I mean, there's other fringe guys like you have a guy like Gobert where on DraftKings you can play him. He's 7,300. He's in a good matchup. But on FanDuel, he's 8,000. I would just rather pay the $1,700 more and get a Cat, have that higher ceiling, and floor. Great matchup again. So if I was not gonna play Cat, I would probably go all the way down to like Whiteside or Nurkic. Whiteside on DraftKings is 67, and he's 7,500 on FanDuel. I probably wouldn't play him on FanDuel at all. I think I'd go to Len or something like that. But I think the next guy would be Nurkic for me against the Suns tomorrow. He's cheap on DraftKings at 65. FanDuel, he's 7,000. He's a little expensive. Again, I think like Cat is the play, unless you're going to go to a guy like Alex Len tomorrow. If Chandler's out again, which he should be, and that'll get him. You get Alex Len at 5,100 on DraftKings. He had a pretty good game today. He definitely overreached value, over 7x today. And he's only 4,500 on FanDuel. So your question is all about opportunity cost tomorrow. And I think Len, can definitely get you 7x tomorrow, so he can definitely get you in the 40s. But if you're looking for raw points, Cat's probably got the most point, like raw points on the slate in this matchup with no Butler. So your big decision on FanDuel at center is: do you want to go to Cat or you want to go all the way down to Len?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I think Cat is definitely in play. Before we move on, just by the way, give a shout out to Wise Take staff member Mr. Steve Rosario's birthday tomorrow or today on the East Coast. Steve does producing in the back, and he also does our MMA podcast with Wig. So happy birthday to Mr. Steve Rosario. And guys, by the way, here at the Wise Take Nation, we got right now, if you sign up for the MLB package, you get it's for $175. You put in the code Early Owl MLB and you get $50 off, and you get the rest of the NBA season. It's including playoffs going all the way through. So all baseball and the rest of basketball is pretty good. Pretty damn good deal. Early Owl MLB, all one word, is the code. So we've gone through all the positions. I do got one question here, and then we'll go to your top three. Ed Davis tomorrow. Any love for Ed Davis?
He's okay. He's in a good matchup. It really comes down to Nurk. The health of Nurk on the back-to-back. He wasn't looking great before the game started today. He had an injury tag. So it's a back-to-back. He might be okay tomorrow. Again, I think there are better plays. Like I'd prefer to play Harkless on the same team at like a $600 savings, $700 savings. I'd prefer to play Bielitsa tomorrow at a $900 savings. So I think it really comes down to your roster construction. I'm not going to say he's not in play, but Ed Davis is not the most like consistent of plays. Like he might go and put up 20, 30, 20, 30, and then all of a sudden 6 or 2 or just disappear. So I would tell you it comes down to your roster construction, and I think with Harkless there tomorrow or Bielitsa, you don't need to go there, but I can see the merit.
All right, and what about David West now that Bell is out?
Yeah, no, I'm not on West in this game tomorrow. You got Steven Adams there tomorrow. I'd prefer just to go there, but I don't think you need to mess around with these bigs tomorrow. It's really cut and dry. Just play Len or play Cat. Those are the guys you want to focus on, especially on FanDuel. And then power forwards, like I think you have to play. You have to play Bielitsa. I really wouldn't mess around tomorrow. Don't get too cute. I think you can get really differentiate yourself, and you can get really cute with the shooting guards and the point guards because there's a lot of options, but there's not a lot of options here at the forward and in the center spot right now that I think are great plays. So I would just lock in the guys that you like and just move on, and then just take your plays with your point guards and your shooting guards. I would go there.
Perfect. All right. Let's go top 3 on each position. And then we'll answer any last questions, and then we will get on out of here because it's Friday night, guys. Believe it or not, still on the West Coast. Now, granted, me and Johnny will probably go to sleep, but it's still on the West Coast. It's still partying time. We know Pauly D is probably out. It's probably snowing wherever Pauly D's at. So, anyways, point guard.
Well, I guess what I heard that I'm a meth addict. So,
oh really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So I'm up all, like I'm just gonna go out and party anyway. So
Johnny,
I
I don't think anybody knows anything about meth. That would not be the one drug I would pick you to be a meth addict.
That's funny, huh? I thought it was great.
Yeah, if you were a meth addict, I think we see like 6 weeks later, you'd be like skinny Johnny.
I know. I'd be like a pencil, bro. So yeah, man. So what I'll do here is I'm going to give you my three favorite plays at point guard on DraftKings and then FanDuel and then so on and so forth. That way, because they're priced differently. So I'll start with DraftKings. My favorite play here, I'm going to go with. We'll go with Steph Curry tomorrow at 9,900. I like him a lot tomorrow. He's probably my favorite play. And then I'm going to go with Goran Dragic tomorrow at 6,300. I like him a lot. And I'm going to go with Elf, a rebound game tomorrow against Dame Lillard, 7,100. I like him. Those are DraftKings. On FanDuel, Curry's just way too cheap. Kyrie Irving, 7,900. I love that tomorrow. I definitely would go there. And then I would go with Chris Dunn on FanDuel, 6,200, just too cheap.
All right. Shooting guards.
On DraftKings, I'm looking at if Butler's ruled out for sure, I'm going to go with let's go with Zach LaVine, DraftKings, 7,500. And then I would move down to Wiggins here at 6,200. I like that a lot. And then Devin Booker, 7,400 on DraftKings, just too cheap. He's criminally underpriced. And then on FanDuel, we're going to go, let's see. Let's go Levine at 7,200. I like that. He's too cheap. We'll go Wiggins, 6,200. I like that. And then we're going to go with Mitchell at 77 on FanDuel. I like that a lot.
All right. Small forward.
So you got a small forward here. I'm going to go with TJ Warren, 5,700. I love that price for him. I think he's definitely a great play tomorrow. Then I'm going to go to Bielitsa, 3,400 on DraftKings. I love that tomorrow. This is a DraftKings only play, but I'm going to go Buddy Hield, 5,200. And then over on FanDuel, I'm going to go TJ Warren, Bielitsa, 3,500. And Jason Tatum at 52. I like that.
All right. Let's go down to power forward.
So yeah, on DraftKings, my favorite play here is going to be Draymond Green by far. I love that play tomorrow. This is a DraftKings only play, but it's Zach Randolph at 63. I like that. And then James Johnson, 4,600, just too cheap for me. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in. I like him a lot tomorrow. And then over there on FanDuel, we're going to go with Draymond Green, 8,300. I love him tomorrow. Let's see. I'm going to take a shot on Daniel Theis tomorrow. It's too cheap, 37. I like him. I like him in the matchup. And if we get any word that Luke Cornett is going to start or get an increased role in minutes at 3,500, he's just going to open up so much for you. So I definitely like that. If not, and you still have money on the table, go ahead and put in Bobby Portis.
All right. And finally at center.
Yeah, so on DraftKings, it's a little bit of a decision here. But Cat's number one on the board for sure. 9,600. I like that a lot. And then I would go down to like Whiteside or Nurk. They're like right in there together. Probably I would go with Nurk. His availability is more about health than it is about behavioral. Like Whiteside might get pulled anytime. And then it would be Len would be my third. And then on FanDuel, there's only two options for me. You either go up to Cat at 97 or you go down to Len at 4,500. There's nothing else for me there. You go up or down. That's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me give you my guys. Get your questions in here quick. We're gonna be getting out of here in a few minutes. I have one question ready to go. Let me give you here. This is the lineup that I came up with right now. Just shooting it out here. I got Steph Curry and Chris Dunn. I got Donovan Mitchell and Tim Hardaway Jr. I got Bielitsa and TJ Warren. And then at power forward, I got Theis and Bobby Portis. And at center, I got Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, first look, that looks pretty strong.
Yeah, and I like it. Once you gave me that the Theis option, it opened up a lot on power forward, and then I moved down from I had Paul George in there, and I moved him down to Warren, and that gave me Mitchell and stuff. So, but anyways, guys, we do got one question here. How many lineups do you build daily, Johnny? Let's just go. I know you're more of a DraftKings player, so how many do you build daily?
It really depends. I do a lot of shows too. So on my show days, I don't build a lot of lineups. I focus more on like single entry and like 3 max and stuff like that, GPPs. I don't play any cash, but I do like I always call single entries and stuff like that my cash stuff. So I'll do more like 1 to 3 lineups on that day. And then it really depends if I'm not doing a show or I don't have a lot of content to do. I could go and script a slate if I like it. It really just depends on how much I like the slate and what my goal is for the day. I set goals for myself daily on what I'm trying to do. I don't just like throw like bullets out there. So it really just depends on the slate, how much like I like it. Like yesterday, I got all my goals accomplished with 1 bullet. I love the slate, and I just went through in 1 lineup and I made a ton of money. Today I threw out 3 lineups today, and I'm doing pretty good right now. I haven't checked lineups since the show started. But it was 11 game slate. I don't like to play heavy on big game slates just because there's so many options to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to kill my bankroll. So again, it's all slate dependent and stuff like that. But typically 3 to 5 is a good rule of thumb for me. Unless I'm trying to like qualify for a queue or do something crazy and I'm just going to script it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, guys, I got to say for me, because this happens in all sports. So it kind of, I found when I first started playing DFS, it was tough to make only a few lineups. You wanted to go crazy because you wanted to get here or there. I wanted this guy, I wanted a little bit of that guy. And then I just feel like the more you play, the easier it is to whittle it down to only a couple. And it's just playing more, in my opinion. I think if you're learning more of correct lineup builds, so you don't have to have 20 lineups on a day. You only need a cash lineup and then maybe two GPPs or whatever. That's what I like to do during baseball, guys. I like to have my cash lineup, and then I like to have maybe 1 or 2 GPP lineups. I'm not going to try and kill myself, kill my bankroll. Part of being a good DFS player, and Johnny will agree to this, whether you're a pro or a guy that plays it sparingly, you come home, you got a few extra minutes, guys. It's all about knowing who you are as a player. I preach that. Don't try and be somebody else you're not. Know who you are as a player. And sometimes it takes a little while to learn who you are as a player. Sometimes I found that, baseball, I'm a better GPP baseball player than I am in any other sport, but I'm better in cash in other places. So it's tough, in the process. It's just about learning and doing more lineups. Let me see. We got here question here. Best value play for center on FanDuel. Is that Len?
Yeah, right now is that DraftKings or FanDuel?
FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel. Like I tell you, either go to Cat or you go to Len tomorrow. That's it. I wouldn't go anywhere else.
All right, and Harkless or Tyler Johnson?
Two totally different positions. Is that DraftKings or FanDuel? They're priced differently.
It just says Harkless or Tyler Johnson. I'm not 100% sure they didn't.
So yeah, on DraftKings, he's Tyler Johnson, just different position eligibility. You probably DraftKings question because it's utility. Tyler Johnson.
Utility.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson 4,500. He's a little bit more expensive. If you can get something more for $800, go ahead and plug in Harkless tomorrow against the Suns. I like that matchup a lot. But Tyler Johnson's probably the better play, more raw points, I think. But it really depends on your build.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it tonight for the NBA DFS podcast. Remember, like I said, MLB full season packages here. With the playoffs, it's $174.99, but you use the code EARLYOUT you get all of MLB and you get the rest of the NBA, including playoffs. So remember, if you're watching on YouTube, click that thumbs up button. We really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a follow. And if you're listening on iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. We really appreciate that. And of course, if you're listening on Facebook, please give us a like or a share. So once again, Johnny, that was a good Friday night hanging out a little bit.
Yeah, brother. I want to give can I give a quick plug real quick?
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Awesome, brother. Okay, so, with the NBA season really heating up here, we're almost at the exact midway point. And with the MLB season coming up really, really soon here, now's a great time to start thinking about maybe doing some coaching sessions, and we have a great coaching package over there at wisetake.com under strategy. You can check that out. We all have our little coaching session package that we offer there. And also, if you see something that you're interested in and you want to do a group session and you don't see a group session package up there, we don't have that currently, but you can definitely contact me and we can put something together for you. If you're looking to do like a group session instead of just like a one-on-one, if you want to do like a 5 or 6 people, to keep the cost a little bit lower, we can definitely work something out. So I think it's a great time right now with the NBA and MLB coming up. If you want to learn a new sport, definitely feel free to hit me up or any of us up at the Wise Take. We can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah, there's something there. There's somebody for everybody here. I'll tell you what, guys, when it comes to basketball or if you're baseball or if you're a football player, there's somebody on our staff that you will identify with the most, and you'll want to listen to them. Some guys like cash. some guys like Paulie, myself, yourself, Johnny. So it's basically who you kind of relate to. Somebody in the chat says they want to do a threesome with you. Unfortunately, it was another male. I hate to tell you that, Johnny, but hey, you're getting somewhere. So, anyways.
Hey, you gotta take it where you get it from.
You gotta start
right?
somewhere. I know. All right. So, anyways, guys, that was great. We're gonna get on out of here. So, for Johnny the Greek, G Daddy Eddie, I am Patio Joe. Follow me on Twitter at Patio Joe Ref. So, for everybody here at the Wise Take Nation, as of course, our man CK always says, good luck.
Ship all the money.
Yes.